What is it like playing real people? Is this a harder task or an easier task?
I've played real people before. Have you?
No, this was my first time.
I played 2 real people, but it wasn't this big a role, so it didn't really, it didn't really matter in the story. So.
And do you do research? Do you try and see all the video you can about the person, or is that not part of the process?
Oh, no, I definitely did. I think because this is a relatively recent scandal, this was 10 years ago this April, there's a lot on YouTube that you can look up, which maybe with some other people that you'd play you wouldn't be able to have that opportunity. But Gina also did such a great job with her research, which was very extensive and obviously started long before we started rolling cameras or started casting or anything. So she was really instrumental in filling in a lot of the gaps.
Yeah, for me it was just, I heard him speak. I saw one video of him speaking, and that was it. Everything else for me is in the script.
For you, you don't have to do anything. If you don't want to do anything again, you don't have to.
Right.
So what pulls you out to say, this is the project I have to do?
That's a good question. I guess I still want to do things.
But this kind of a character, I mean, we see these characters, these billionaires that seem to get away with everything.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really get away with it.
Well, not.
Yeah. So, but it's fun to play the bad guy. You know, it's fun because there's a lot of sides to them. You know, so you get to do a lot of different things, and it's fun. It's you know, it was a good story to be told, and it's an important story to be told too, as well.
Right.
I'm always into. I'm not so much into that aspect of showbiz. I'm usually like it should delight people and entertain.
Right.
And maybe they take away something too. Hopefully that's the ideal.
When you look at your character, do you see her as a whistleblower, or is she an opportunist?
A little bit of both. I mean, V's, again, another complicated character, that's very satisfying as an actor to play and to peel back the layers and find out how she became that way and some of the context about the situation that led to these actions. And yeah, with V, it's a little from column A, a little from column B, and I think that's what makes her so interesting.
And working together, what's that like?
Horrible.
Isn't he just a nightmare? He's a nightmare all the time,
Horrible.
right?
Terrible stories. You know, no, he's great.
Work.
He's got great stories all the time. Like, he's just, I mean, gosh, you've been around, I've been watching.
Yeah,
just recently rewatched Wayne's World.
Oh, I'm in
yes.
that. Yeah, I did
He's
2 of those.
so great in it. Just the best cameo.
Dutch, for God's sakes.
Dutch.
That's so
Best
bad.
cameo ever. No, it was an absolute joy. Ed is amazing. I love Ed.
Well, thank you.
Now you're supposed
You're
to,
not
You're
so
supposed
bad
to say, I
yourself.
love you too.
No,
you're
she's
supposed
great.
to share the, okay.
No, she is.
No,
I
we
mean,
spent a lot of time together.
we
12-hour
did.
days.
We did, and we had a great
We
time.
laughed. It was
And-
great.
Okay, so what do you want the people to learn from watching this? What do you want people who are just sitting at home saying, what do we take away from this?
I think, you know, while it is a wildly entertaining show, it's also a really poignant commentary on racism and misogyny and the power structures that our society is built on. It really is, and it's very sensitive to that and sophisticated.
Well, yes, and I think it's so important because the players, you know, when I acted the scenes in the locker rooms and when I got to know these guys, as they're actors, of course,
Sure.
they're so good. I was actually kind of amazed because they're young actors. They were great. And I think to see their story and how really human they are, and, you know, it's good for people to see that.
Sure.
You know, to see that they're hurt by things and, you know, the racism.
You know, I see the cautionary tale that we have because a lot of these people are getting into politics. And you say, watch out now. Just a minute here. Don't get behind this person because he's loud or whatever. Do you see that as well, that we can learn something from that to make sure that we're not lining up behind somebody because?
Well, if you're talking about who I think you're talking about,
I think we are.
I think, listen, I saw this guy coming in 1980 because I was in New York then, and I couldn't even believe this. So hey, you're preaching to the choir here.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, you can do more work.
We'll see.
Okay.